So this episode we're going to go take on the Cinnabar gym, but before we do that I'm going to pull another episode 5, I think it is, and go deal with the routes surrounding Cinnabar gym, especially since we passed them up, so before we get into the gym, don't mind me as I go deal with all the trainers. I'm not quite sure how long this will take, but it should hopefully take roughly half as long for you as it did for me. But yeah, I'll go for a dip, I suppose. So, one thing I would like to mention and apologize for is, sorry if this first part of this episode is kind of hard to look at, as, the water textures in Gen 1, they're fine to look at while stationary, but while you're moving, they're very hard to move at, I would even go as far to say that, I don't think they're fine at any speed when moving. Like, towards the end of it, I was getting sick of, looking at the screen, and that's at normal speed. Like, towards the end it was like, oh, my eyes are burning. What the fuck? Although I guess that was kind of because I was like actively paying attention to the screen. Like, I guess if you're not actively looking at the screen, then I guess it's fine, but because I was like focusing on parts of the water, I was like, oh, this is starting to hurt. Not to mention, I guess I could have made it so that the parts when I'm battling are a different speed to when I'm just walking or traveling throughout the water, but like that would have taken too long. Like, I think at that point I might have just done it at normal. Like, had this be its own episode, I think. Maybe even 2 episodes. Like, I'm fairly sure that, these 3 routes, I think it is, took more time than the majority of, Silphco. It's like, what? Because this took around 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and, I think the Silphco climb only took, like, 30. No, so I guess I will say that, the, only negative of, my strategy of, like, always having the lowest leveled team member on at the top of my team is that I'm kind of like, occasionally I would be stuck with a Pokemon that I don't have a good, like, doesn't have a good solid way to battle every single type. Like with Senpai here, I'm fighting water types with a water type move, an ice type move, and just pure RNG. It's like, what exactly do I do here? So I really need to look at Senpai's special stat, because like I'm not sure what it is. And also something I will mention is that I really like how you can find other trainer types apart from the standard swimmers here, which I think is something that isn't done in any other game. Like, I can only think of it being done in one other game, and that's Ruby and Sapphire, as towards the end of the game you can find swimmers, sailors, technically they count, as well as bird trainers and ace trainers. It's like, why don't they do that more? Like, why don't they place different trainer classes more, in large areas more often? Although I kinda get why there's beauties in the water here, or like in the route we're going to, as it makes sense because of it being a Game Boy game. There wasn't a lot of space, so it's like, how do we handle like different genders in the water? It's like, just have there be one of the female training classes just in the water for no apparent reason. But like, that being said, I would like to see that again. Like, even if it doesn't really make sense. Because like, I definitely feel like they could do that. They could easily do that. Not to mention, it would make the water routes, like some of the routes that are just the worst to go through, they're much better because these swimmers are known for paying out ridiculously low amounts of money. It's like, with the point you can fight them at, opposed to how much money they give you, it's like, oh, this is nothing, why did I fight you? Like, I just feel like having a large variety in trainer classes would just make this entire thing so much better. And, while I was recording this, I saw that there was a trainer, in, like, around Seafoam Island. I didn't know you could get there by going the other way from Fuchsia to Cinnabar, but, at that moment, I was like, oh, if I have to go through Seafoam to get to that trainer, no, fuck that. Even though I'm not trying to battle all the trainers in this game, it's like, I might as well do it, because, like, trainers give way more experience than, wild Pokemon, so I was like, I might as well do it. Like, not to mention, I think there's very few, routes that are completely optional in this game. Like, I think at most, it's just the route, I guess the long way to, Fuchsia. And I guess the route I'm on now, I guess. Like, that's about it. Other than that, like, you're going through most of Kanto. Also, can I just say, I would really love a game to be structured like Kanto again. That being, it's like, it's linear in some parts, but it's just that if you know the game well enough, you can tackle things out of order. It's kind of disappointing that it hasn't been a thing in a Pokemon game since about Gold and Silver, technically. Like, that's, I think, the last time it's like, hey, there's three gym leaders you can do in any order. And then there's Hoenn where it's like, oh, you don't have to do this gym right now, but you may as well do it right now, sort of thing. I kind of feel like only Kanto, it's like, there's not much forcing you to do the gyms in a set order. Apart from Brock and Misty. Like, apart from that, and I guess the 8th gym leader, you can do a lot of them in any order you want, and I just think that's so great. It's like, why? Why haven't we done this again? I swear, just playing Gen 1 has kind of made me a Gen 1er, in a way. But only in the sense, like, that I feel like there are some things that Gen 1 did, I guess Kanto did, that was never touched on again, for some reason. Like, the new games are so fucking linear, it's like, what? Why? I swear Pokemon really needs the, Breath of the Wild moment where they just look back on Gen 1 and it's like, hey, why don't we do things like we did beforehand? Not what they're currently doing. It's like, hey, remember Gen 1? Remember Gen 1? It's like, fucking hell, game. Fucking hell, Game Freak. Okay, yeah, I think there's like 2 more trainers left. Just really don't like the state Pokemon's in at the moment. It's like, yeah, I want my Pokemon. I like my Pokemon games being non-linear. Yay! Instead of this current linear is the only way to go. Because our player base are 5-year-olds who don't know how to read or anything. But yeah, I think I'll just leave it as is and then just cut back, like, let this play out and then just fade back into recording time Maltese. Because I think this part's getting a little bit too ranty for my liking. We are back in Cinnabar, and I'm not sure if I will need to split this up into 2 episodes because at the moment I've been recording long enough to essentially split the first part of this episode into its own episode. Depending on how fast I speed it up, it goes to show how long that section is. So if this is an entirely different episode, that's why. And something tells me that what I've planned for the rest of this recording session is not exactly going to get all the way through. Like, I'm not exactly going to get all the way through it in a single session, as well, we have a skyscraper to go climb, and not exactly the easiest climb. Yeah, not to mention, I think I said this before, but I will be going out of my way to, battle all the trainers. I think getting burnt is fine. In all honesty, as Homeboy has terrible attack, so why not lower it even more? Like, I kinda think that there needs to be a special version of Burn, 'cause, like, at the moment, Out of all the statuses, I would say Burn is probably the one you want to keep around. Especially in Gen 7, because I think... Or maybe even in Gen 8, because like, I think they kept the change they did to Burn. Where basically they nuked the amount of damage it does per turn, so I think it is like less than half of what it did beforehand, so it's I guess as far as statuses go, it's like the one you'd want to keep as paralysis. At one point, like, I think halved your speed. I think, and like, you have a 30% chance of not attacking. Infatuation is like the same as paralysis, but you don't get the nerf, like the speed nerf. Poison, or I guess depending on what poison you have, I guess now it's twice as strong as poison, as burn, and then burn just like halves your attack and like does tiny amounts of damage every turn, and then sleep, unless you have a certain move around sleep or based on sleep, you just can't attack. So it's like, if getting one of those statuses allows me to like safeguard myself from the other statuses, sign me the fuck up for burn, please. Like, the only downside to burn is like Pokemon who are physically based, but like, apart from that, that's not really such a downside. Or, I'd probably go as far as to say, Pokemon who were more based on special attack, a burn is a benefit rather than a negative, I guess. Which is just like, what? So yeah, there really should be a special burn, I think. Also, I think because the most of this episode, if not the last episode, was just based around battling, I'm thinking I might skip out the next few trainers and until the gym leader, maybe, I think. Not to mention next episode, oh boy, next episode, I'm kinda regretting, leaving this till now, but, not leaving, Saffron until now, but, yeah. I guess leaving these two events really close together. Cause like, just putting this in perspective as to how long, this was, when I started recording, it was about 40 minutes, to a new day in Mario Kart Tour. That new day started 25 minutes ago. I guess I won't skip this guy since there's like only one, I think. And yeah, despite the increase of levels, this gym isn't all that bad, I think. Like, only because this type has, fly types have like a really large amount of weaknesses. Like, if I wasn't using just normal types, I would probably have like a lot of counters to this type. So don't mind me, just gonna skip this trainer. Wait, is Cinnabar our first level 40? Holy shit, she is. I guess I should get Homeboy in here, although, I guess now we just have to use Ice type moves. Since they're, neutral to fly types, I suppose. That's a dead Homeboy, isn't it? Or not? That's a very pog. Okay, yeah, I'll leave this run, I think. Also, I'm not entirely sure how long this episode will be, but, if possible, there's still, like, one more thing I want to do after this, after this gym, but before the end of this episode. There's not... I can't think of a good place to fit it, since it's a little out of the way. Although... would I be fine with just mentioning it? Maybe. But, what I'm thinking of doing is, back on Route 10, if we take the water, or I guess the river, on Route 10, down, that will take us to the power plant, and, there's a certain move that is there that I kinda want. That being Thunder. Only problem is, even though there's a Pokemon Center at, in Route 10, you can't fly there, meaning we'll have to go back to Cerulean, yeah, go back to Cerulean, get out a Pokemon that can learn Kart, also have a Pokemon that can learn Surf, since, not a single one of our Pokemon can learn Surf. What? And then go down to the power plant, and then, I think it's about midway through the power plant is Thunder, I think. Or the TM for Thunder. Yeah, Like, because I don't have, I have no idea how long this episode is going to be, I think I might just end up, like, maybe next episode say, hey, or I guess before we start, the Silver Climb, like, mentioned, hey, in between episodes, I went to Route 10, did the thing, and, you know, now I have, like, the most powerful electric type move, no biggie. I think as we're fighting Blaine, I'll mention, it, but, okay, buddy, have fun with that, so, the reward we get for fighting a gym leader is either a boost to one of our stats. That's normally for the gym leaders who are supposed to be the odd numbered gym leaders, so like Brock, Surge, Koga, Blaine, and for most of the even numbered gym leaders you're given, well I guess, apart from Brock, because you're given both a increase in a stat and a thing. Oh, you stupid bitch. Yeah, because this is Gen 1 and it is a very solid game with no flaws whatsoever, the boost you get to your stat from the gym badge, I guess I'll just call it the badge boost, happens to get reapplied for every stat modification you get. So let's go with Homeboy. Yeah, oh right, we can't use that. This was a bad move. Yeah, it applies for every status modification you do to your stats, and that also happens to include both negative and positive. So if a Pokemon lowers our stats, the remaining stats actually get a boost. Yeah. And those boosts will remain in our those added badge boosts will stay in our Pokemon until it either levels up or you switch out. So remember when I said that we won't just be using Capacity's agility to raise its speed? That's what I mean by that. The reason why I wanted to tackle Blaine 6th instead of, say, I don't know, like 6th instead of like when you're normally supposed to take him on, is because he gives you a boost in special. So anytime we use Capitious Agility, we will now get a boost in its attack, special, and yeah, fuck Thunderwave. And defense, oddly enough. I'm not sure if the badge boost applies to the stat that was modified. I don't think it does. I really don't think it does. But yes, and also I'm fairly sure that the modifications of the badge boosts aren't affected by critical hits. As in, it will do more than what is supposed to happen, like what the game intends. I think. So it is a very broken move. So I'm thinking that we'll end off the episode here. Either this is the end of episode 18? Or the end of episode 17. I won't know until editing. But next episode we will take on the events in Saffron, and in between episodes I will go get Thunder. But until then, that's when I'll see you.